Let's do this. Welcome to the show that doesn't even have a name yet. That's how dedicated we are. Name's Ash. That's not my real name because I'm not going to tell you my real name. And your name is?
Sap.
Yeah.
Sap Coconut.
Sap Coconut. I like it. Okay, so we're going to do some hot topics first. As everyone has been talking about on the internet lately, Robert Pattinson of Twilight fame, shamefully, has been cast in Matt Reeves' The Batman. And I don't know about you, but I really enjoy this casting. What do you think about it?
Well, I speak from a point of complete ignorance. I've never seen any of the Twilight movies.
No, I've only seen Spoonie rant about them, so...
Yeah, that at best.
Yeah, that was for any of you new to YouTube, you don't know who Spoonie is, and no one knows anymore, only us.
Yeah, he degenerated into complete lunacy.
Yeah, the reason why I love this casting is because me and my best friend, we have this like weird sort of dream casting list, and we were going over who could play Batman, and honestly we wanted Ben Affleck to do it, but we have to have someone who's, you know, not depressed. And we did a list, and on our list was like, if he's younger and just starting out or just like right in it, we had Robert Pattinson on our list. So that's why I really enjoyed it. But if we wanted to get more older Batman or something, we wanted John Hamm from Mad Men, because he literally looks like Bruce Wayne. It's actually uncanny. He looks like Alex Ross's paintings of Bruce Wayne. He's just incredible. And honestly, you know, I feel like I saw this great meme the other day. It was about like when Ben Affleck, when he stepped down as director from The Batman and Matt Reeves was welcome, it was like Ben Affleck tweeted a picture of himself as Batman, and he was like, "Welcome to the Batcave, Matt Reeves." And then like years later, when he finally quit, Matt Reeves put up this image of Robert Pattinson with like 3 bat emojis or something, and it was like, someone put the quote from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. It was like, "I offered you friendship and you spat in my face." And I loved that. And in other comic book movie news, apparently Dark Phoenix is shit. So it has a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's not even like open yet.
How?
That's the starting rating, 17%. That's lower than X-Men Origins Wolverine. I think that's sitting around like 40% or something. So yeah, that's terrible.
It's crazy. I almost can't believe it.
Yeah, but you know, my friend used to say that X-Men Apocalypse was the worst X-Men film, and I was like, "What about X-Men Origins Wolverine?" And he said, like, "Yeah, that one sucks, but you think like 10 movies in, X-Men Apocalypse shouldn't suck." Because they made X-Men First Class, which I watched recently. I watched it last night, actually. It's so good. It's the best X-Men film, like, by far. And, you know, most of you say, like, Logan. And yeah, Logan is great. It's freaking phenomenal, but that's barely an X-Men film. That's just a Wolverine film. So, but X-Men First Class is probably the greatest X-Men film ever made, and that's because it was made by director Matthew Vaughn, who went on to make like Kingsman, and he also made Kick-Ass, so that's a really talented filmmaker. And then, like, he wanted to do Days of Future Past. Like, he didn't want to do that secondly. He wanted to have that the end of his trilogy, but it was like, he wanted to do that. He wrote that film, and then Fox was like, "Let's do this one." But he was like, "No, I want to do one story before this." And I was like, "No, let's do Days." Which kind of doesn't make sense, because Days of Future Past was like the perfect ending to a trilogy, which wasn't even a trilogy. And then X-Men Apocalypse comes along, and it was directed by Bryan Singer, and it was written by Simon Kinberg, and Kinberg should not be working in Hollywood anymore. But X-Men Apocalypse is basically, it's the first X-Men film, but just with a bigger budget. It introduces a character in a cage match, and it has like Apocalypse, it's just Magneto in the end with the bridges and everything. It's so stupid. And it's basically X-Men 1 again, which like tells me that Bryan Singer still hasn't caught up with modern superhero films. It's just like, no, let's just do what I did like 15 years ago. It's just like, no, it doesn't work like this anymore. It would be like if Sam Raimi would do Spider-Man 4 now. It would not work. Superhero movies have changed. And Simon Kinberg wrote and directed this Dark Phoenix film. I haven't seen it yet, but I want to see it, because me and my friend went to see Apocalypse together just because we hated it so much. And the reason I dislike Simon Kinberg is because, like, he's the guy that wrote X-Men Last Stand, which also tackled the Dark Phoenix saga, which tells me that he just does not get the material. And then he also wrote, like, the Fantastic Four film from 2015.
The third one?
Yeah, it's like
how is too ashamed to admit it. Is it a Fantastic Four movie?
Yeah, Fan Four Stick, as it's called. It's just like, why does this guy keep getting jobs? And why does he get to write and direct the last Fox-owned X-Men film? I don't get it.
Wow, you just carried that one.
Sorry, I have a lot of pent-up aggression against Simon Kinberg. I had to let that out. Because you talked about, like, if I have any games or, like, movies that I played or watched and I, like, hated, but I still kept playing or watching. I honestly, honestly, and I'm gonna get bullwhipped from this one, but I bought The Last Jedi on DVD once, and honestly, when I saw The Last Jedi first, I didn't like it, and I kind of wanted to see it again, so I bought it on DVD because it was like 10, $20 or something, but then I just started playing it on repeat because I was at my dorms and I had like nothing else to watch, and as it just stayed on repeat and repeat, it was just like, do I like this film? Do I still dislike it? I don't know. I honestly think it's an okay film. But the internet is just like full of people that can't get over the fact that Star Wars is just a film.
Yeah. The fans are crazy with this one. They just want to own it. Own everything that is Star Wars.
Yeah, but did you hear about that Christian Harloff thing?
Not really.
Okay, so Christian Harloff is the guy from Collider, and he's just like, every time something Star Wars comes out, he like praises the shit out of it. It was just like, they made fun of it at the internet. It was just like, I think Rogue One's better than Empire, and I think it's mildly, I don't remember that joke. It was so good. It was just like, I give it an 8 out of 10, and I think it's better than The Force Awakens, which I gave a 9. And it was obviously a joke, but okay, so apparently he's just been called out for the fact that he's been a Star Wars fan, like, for just the camaraderie of it, because they're opening this new thing called Galaxy's Edge. It's just like this giant Star Wars theme park and everything. George Lucas, Mark Hamill, and Harrison Ford were all over there to reveal the Millennium Falcon. It was awesome. And apparently Christian Harloff didn't get an invite to the premiere. And then he just went on a rant about, I've been a Star Wars fan for 5 years and I don't get anything. And it was just like, dude, what are you, a kid?
Yeah, people can have like a bunch of kids on the internet all the time.
But the thing is just like, he says that he's been a fan for 5 years, like it has been his job. It's so weird. It's just like, dude, if you didn't get invited, you just didn't get invited. People have been buying tickets on pre-sale for like a year or something. It's just, grow a pair. And yeah, do you have a game or something that you've been playing a lot but you didn't like or something?
Well, this is harkening back to a long time ago, during the Wii era. Of a game called Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, I think. Echoes of Time. Well, it wasn't really that bad of a game. The problem is, I played it on the Wii. If you've seen it, you know it worked way better on the DS. Yeah, DS, okay? Yeah. The combat was fine, the platforming puzzle was pretty good too, but the fact that it was on the Wii just pissed me off.
Yeah, some games are not meant to be on that friggin' computer. Okay, so talking about video games, it's just like, I like to talk about movies and you like to talk about video games, so let's just meld the thing together. Like, popular discussions is like, whenever a movie comes out based on a video game, it's just like, it's almost guaranteed to be bad. Why is that? It's like, video game movies, are they ever good? And why not?
Well, the closest thing we have right now is Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I loved it, but I'm a dumbass. I don't know what a good movie is. I like The Winter's Tale. It is a terrible movie.
Yeah, Winter's Tale is god-awful. Yeah, that was written and directed by Akiva Goldsman, who famously wrote Batman and Robin.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah, the greatest movie ever made. Honestly, I can honestly say that about Batman and Robin. That movie is so terrible, but I love watching it. It's such a guilty pleasure of mine. Sometimes I just put it on for the hell of it because just you look at this thing and you just think, what the hell is going on? In every single frame, it's just like there's so much wrong. But video game movies, it's like the Assassin's Creed one was pretty bad, and they did a Tomb Raider movie again, and that one was like okay. But here's the thing: do the Pokemon animated films, do they count as video game movies? Because honestly, it's based on a video game, so why not?
Well, if we just separate that as live action and animated, it'll make it way easier.
Yeah, it would be so much easier, because then the best video game movie of all time would be The Spell of Unknown. I stand by that film. That Pokemon film, Pokemon 3, it's so good. I love it. Dan Green as Entei. Apparently, I read that Sean Connery was considered, and it was just like, what were you thinking? He was never gonna say yes. Just call Dan Green. He's great. But the thing about video game movies is, like, why do we always expect it to be bad? Why is that?
I think it stems from the Mario movie.
Yeah. Oh my God! Can you imagine, like, that whole Sonic the Hedgehog thing? Like, they went mad because Sonic doesn't look like the video game. Can you imagine what people would be like now if they would see those freaking Goombas?
Oh man, I was so ready to see that Sonic movie. It looked terrible, but in the right way.
Yeah, but my favorite bit in that Super Mario film is it's such a weird ongoing joke in the film, but it's just Dennis Hopper as King Koopa, and he's just ordering a pizza throughout the film. Why is that a joke? Who is that for? Is that for people who spend the whole day ordering a pizza? I don't know.
Must be an Italian thing.
Yeah. God damn it. I did not expect that. But I think the reason is, like, you can't emulate something a video game does, because, like, when you're in a video game, you're kind of you're both choosing and not choosing your own adventure. It's because you follow a storyline, but you still like to do your own thing. And a movie can't really emulate that. Like, there was a Sly Cooper movie that was supposed to come out in like 2016, but it just got scrapped. And honestly, I think that would have been a good movie, because that has such range, and I honestly think that could have been a cool, like, neo-noir caper or something. But I've been sitting on this for a really, really long time. It was the Ratchet and Clank film, which came out, and I was like, it came out in 2016, and so I moved, like, I'm in a school, like, up north here, so I sleep in dorms, and I brought my Ratchet and Clank, like, remastered trilogy and A Crack in Time, which honestly I feel is one of the better games. It's not the best, but
it's pretty solid.
It's pretty good. Although 3 and 2 are like the best. And Ratchet Gladiator.
Yeah, you had to add that one in, because
yeah.
I would have...
I saw you raising a fist. I knew what I had to say there. It was just like, I saw that clenched fist and I was like, oh no, I forgot something. But it was just like, okay, so I was playing those games, and keep in mind, that's like last year, so 2018. Nah, even then I probably played them again. No, this happened last year, so 2018. And I was playing the Ratchet and Clank game. I think I was playing Ratchet and Clank 3, and I was just like, wow, this is incredible. The worlds, the characters, so much going on, the world building. And I kid you not, I said out loud, how haven't they made a movie yet? And then it just hit me. Oh yeah, it came out 2 years ago.
Shit, dude.
Like, I completely forgot that film came out. That's how forgettable it was. And how can you make Ratchet and Clank forgettable? Okay, some of the games are forgettable, but the really good ones are really good ones.
Yeah, I'd say half of them just disappeared into ether.
Yeah.
Secret Agent Clank and...
Wasn't that a PSP game?
Yeah, but somehow it got onto PS2.
Oh, really? No.
Yeah, and I think there's something... let me take a look. Well, with my Google foo, it said it was Size Matters. We're looking at all the games now. All for One, Full Frontal Assault, and there are a bunch of mobile games.
Yeah, the PS2 games all had like innuendos in their titles.
Yeah. Except
the first one, that was just called Ratchet and Clank.
Simple and good.
And then it was Going Commando, Up Your Arsenal. It's just like this isn't even subtle. Like, the least subtle one is Quest for Booty. It's just like, who are you kidding? But yeah, I don't know why is it that, like, video game movies can't follow up the thing of the game. It's just like, Detective Pikachu is the one that worked because honestly, I thought that would have worked from the start. It's just like make a Pokemon movie with realistic designs, and people will still love it because Pokemon is a really, really lovable franchise. Well, that's a bit of a stretch there, but Pokemon is beloved by a lot of people. And the thing about it is, like, everyone has like their favorite moment or a favorite Pokemon or something. It's just like everyone's played one of those games at one point, and let's face it, everyone knows the theme song.
Yeah.
I once heard that song played in my gym.
For real?
Yeah. Because you can plug your phone and just play your music on Spotify, and someone put on the Pokemon theme, and I was just like, okay, whatever works for you, man.
Okay, how about the E3 hype?
E3?
Yeah, we're just, most of my dream games have already came true from last year. CTR remade, dude. It's glorious.
CTR, you're gonna have to...
Crash Team Racing!
Yeah,
Come on, man!
I realized it as you were about to say it. It's just like, wait, I'm supposed to know this. Honestly, I love Nitro Kart so much. I know that's not CTR, but the reason I like Crash Nitro Kart is just because of that theme song.
Yes.
That used to be my ringtone.
Okay, this is the part where we splice in a MIDI version of it because copyright reasons.
Yeah, it's so good. And it's just, it really hypes you up just to play the game. It's just like, you remember everything about that intro.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good. And
especially the team thing. I mean, it didn't work really well in concept. No, not concept. Well, in practice, rather. The worst part is, I really wanted to play as Team Trans in story mode. I really need to play as that kitty. How do you pronounce that name anyway? Pura.
But anyway, like, the thing about like the Crash games is, like, what did you think about that one game where they try to mix the best of it? Wasn't that tag team racing or something?
Yeah, it was a pretty good racing. Everything but the racing part. What am I doing?
No. You're gonna keep that in.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
No, yeah, it was just like, and it was just so easy to win all the races. It was you would press a button and you would meld with the next car, and then that would be like your tag team partner or something. And then you could split at any time. You just do that over and over again until you were in first place. It was just like you were barely racing in it.
It's a pretty good turret shooter game.
Yeah, but and then you could do a lot of things, like you could go bowling or something. It had a lot of minigames. I don't know what that game was. It was so many things.
The bowling game is actually pretty fun. I played it recently.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, we could play it right now.
Yeah, then we would just start playing bowling while recording.
No, let's not get too distracted here.
Yeah, honestly, I think my favorite Crash game is honestly probably Nitro Kart, and then Crash 3, and then Crash Bash. I have a lot of fond memories with that game.
Oh yeah, Crash Bash. Absolute greatest.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good, and you were just like, I remember, like, we would sometimes be like the four of us playing that game, and that would never end well. Like, people would get punched, and no, it was just like that one quote is, it's just like, no matter who wins, we all lose. It's just never ends well.
The best stage in Crash Bash 2-4. I'll get the name right in post somewhere here.
Alright, this is Zap Coconut from Post Show speaking. What a terrible way to say it, but okay, let's keep going. Space Bash. I don't know how I forgot that, but here we are.
Yeah, but the Crash games have, like, they remastered those things, but did they, like, make it harder or something? Because I don't remember it being that hard.
Actually, the games nowadays have gone pretty soft. You die plenty of times in the Crash games.
Honestly, when I was a kid, it was like no problem, except for the one level where you would like run towards the camera and the dinosaur would chase you. That I used to make my dad win that level for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the weirdest thing, he doesn't even play video games. I don't know why he could always win that level. It was just like he would always just like, this level again. It's like, how are you so good at this?
Okay, back to when you said the Crash games were hard. The first one is obviously the hardest. Everybody knows it.
Yeah, it's just like, if you want to torture your friend and just record him going mad, just make him play Crash 1.
And play a bridge level.
Yeah. Jesus, those bridge levels. And what was that one called? Like, yeah, I remember when we were younger, you gave me that one. What was it? The Wrath of Cortex.
I think I think you had it.
Yeah. Someone gave it to me. May not have been you, but I think I remember that. Maybe it's a false memory, but that game was like, it was easy, but it was just boring, kind of.
The levels were pretty wide from what I've heard.
Yeah.
And it's like a Crash 3 with all of its. It learned all of the wrong lessons. More gimmicky levels.
Yeah, learned all the wrong lessons. That's kind of fitting for like X-Men Apocalypse. I keep harping on that film because I hate it so much. But yeah, like you said about the Wrath of Cortex, it learned all the wrong lessons. And you could also play as Coco in that game. Didn't she have a scooter or something, or a surfboard? I haven't played that game in years.
I think it was a scooter.
Yeah, probably. Which one had a surfboard? Wasn't there one where they surfed?
Oh yeah, it was in the GBA games.
Oh, yeah. Man, my memory is just off the chain here.
Go to the shit show, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe we should call it that.
The first episode name, Welcome to the Shit Show.
Welcome to the shit show. We can't talk for shit. But it's just like, yeah, okay, we both watch anime, I think. Because I don't really think you can say that I watch anime, because I've seen, like, I can count on my one hand the animes I've seen. And that not counting Pokemon. Pokemon doesn't count for some reason.
Take it for granted.
Yeah. No, the anime I've seen, aside from like Japanese like animation films, which again they don't count. Like Hayao Miyazaki refuses to call Ghibli films anime. He just refuses. But the anime I've seen is just like, it's every single Yu-Gi-Oh series, every Dragon Ball, and I've seen One Punch Man, I've seen Death Note, and I've seen Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, so you finally watched Death Note?
Yeah.
Okay, I really haven't caught up with you.
Yeah, it only took me like 10 years or something. Honestly, I read the manga first, and then I never came around to watch it. I don't know why. It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, well, I don't think you'll ever catch up to One Piece.
No. My friend has been harping on me to watch that, but I don't want to. It's just like, I don't watch that much anime. Like I said, the only animes I watch are like the ones that have nostalgic value to me, or are like one season and are already done, which is like Cowboy Bebop and Death Note. On an interesting note, it's just like, I've watched all of them, both Japanese and like in English dubs, and that's what I kind of wanted to discuss with you. It's just like, not when a dub is better, I want to say, because it really is, but when is a dub better than its Japanese counterpart? Is there an anime that's actually better in English, or does it just have some moments that they did better?
Well, I don't know if I could say any is better or worse, because, well, we mostly speak from a point of ignorance. The most popular dub ones I know of are like Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, I've never seen that. My brother has, though. I can probably call him and ask. No, but like, have you ever seen any like Japanese Yu-Gi-Oh?
No, but the point is, well, actually, the third season, what's it called again? Not GX.
5Ds.
Yeah, 5Ds. I've seen a couple episodes from that.
What, in English or Japanese?
Japanese only.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's the best Yu-Gi-Oh series, like by far.
My brain is completely fried.
Have you ever seen Dragon Ball?
Dragon Ball, yeah, I think I have. I watched it in chunks here and there.
Yeah.
I never really watched it from start to finish, unless it counts the first Dragon Ball series. And, well, I stopped at episode 50-ish because I needed to cool down.
Yeah. That's one of my more legendary binges. I watched every single Dragon Ball Z episode, filler and everything, in one sitting. That was like 4 days. I should have died.
Well, that kind of thing goes for me with the Boo Saga.
Yeah, that one's pretty. That one's a mixed bag for me. It's because it has one of the highest highs, but it also has the lowest lows, and sometimes in the same episode. It's just like, oh, finally, Gohan's a fully fledged form badass, but then he gets stupid.
Yeah.
It's just like, dude, why?
And then, oh, let's hope that Goten is good. Nope, he's just weak.
Yeah, and then, oh my god, Goku and Vegeta fused, and then Boo eats them. It's just like, what is happening? I honestly don't know what they were doing with that. That's
Yeah, it's really hard for me to pick a favorite Dragon Ball character. I mean, the closest thing I got is Future Trunks, and I'm not really sure about that anymore.
Yeah, I love Trunks, but I think honestly my favorite character, because I honestly think that saying your favorite character is Goku or Vegeta, I think that's cheating.
Yeah, it's kind of basic. I mean,
it's so easy. It's so easy to say that. I adore when people say Piccolo or Gohan, but honestly my favorite is one from Super, and that would be like Beerus. I love Beerus.
Mm-hmm.
He is so much fun. It's just like he's a god of destruction, but he's just a grumpy cat.
Yeah.
And that's just a funny concept to me. And honestly, I think, but counting Z, I'd say I love Piccolo. I think he has one of the more better character developments in the show. But honestly, Super just takes a giant dump on that character, and I honestly don't know why. Because Piccolo is Akira Toriyama's favorite character, and he's the one who made the manga. But honestly, they did such a disservice to his character in Super, and I really didn't like that. Also, Piccolo has the best fight in Dragon Ball Z. Him versus Android 17. That is such a good fight, and it doesn't even involve Goku or Vegeta. So it's such a rare occurrence in Z when it doesn't involve Goku. They honestly really, really like powercraft everyone after the Saiyan saga. And that was because like Dragon Ball was supposed to end with the Frieza saga, but they just made Toriyama keep writing.
Yeah.
Like the Cell saga is literally like everyone's nightmare during a production. It was just like, so the Cell saga was, first of all, the villains were supposed to be Dr. Gero and Android 19, but then Toriyama's editor went like, you can't have them be the villains, they're ugly as shit. and then he was like, oh, fine. And then he was just like, he made them red herring, so it's just like, now they're Android 17 and 18. Well, you can't just let them be teenagers and kick their asses. Oh, fine, I'll do something else. Then he designed Cell. You can't do that, he's horrifying. And it was just like, make him evolve. And then he evolved. You can't do that, he's ugly as fuck. He was like, what do you want from me? And then that whole time travel thing with Trunks came, and it was just like, honestly, I admire the fact that Toriyama managed to write a good story when he was just like, when he had someone's mouth in his goddamn ear the whole time.
Yeah, he's gotten pretty lax with this whole thing.
Yeah. I think that's probably why he's not that involved with Super. Unless he wrote an outline or something, but I honestly think that's why Super lacks in some of the action scenes. Like, some of the action scenes are really good, and they look really good, and they're beautifully choreographed, but like the Z fights and Dragon Ball fights work really well because Toriyama really knew how to draw a fight scene, and because they were adapting from the manga, so the fight scenes pretty much looked identical except if the episode was filler. But since he's not designing any of the fights or drawing them for Super, it's just like it lacks that. It lacks the toughness. Like, not every punch feels like a punch. You know what I mean?
I think so. Well, I'm pretty versed in action scenes. Oh, what am I doing? I am not really good at talking. Well, Devil May Cry games. The third one and onward. I don't really know much about the 1 and 2. They're pretty much the same in my mind. I know I'm speaking heresy, but I have to say it. I mean, just take a look at what Dante's like in 3. He's just a swell, pool-playing, pizza-eating cool dude. I mean, the dude gets stabbed and he acts like someone spilled ketchup on him.
Oh, no.
And actually, that's not new. That happened in 1 too.
Yeah, that's also the problem with Dragon Ball Super. It's just like there's like no blood in it or anything, and also the animation. It's cleaner, but it shouldn't be. That's my problem with some of the modern animation. It's just like it doesn't have the toughness of it. It lacks the grittiness, and it's like when you shoot on film and digitally. It lacks that like filthiness, and that's what makes Dragon Ball Z so good. It's just like it looked so rough. Everything looked like it had been lived in. But honestly, when talking about dubs and subs, it's just like I think Dragon Ball Z is a lot better dubbed, and that's just saying Z. I don't think Dragon Ball Super is a better dub because the sub is really, really good. But Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Z Kai, that's just like powerful stuff, like with voice acting, especially from Sean Shyamalan's Goku. It's just like, yeah, he's Goku. He's just like, you would imagine that sounds like Goku. But there's also this problem I have with Yu-Gi-Oh, like the original series. I think you can honestly create some of the perfect scenes if you would take like the music from the Japanese and put it over the English. No, I love the soundtracks, but I'll give 4Kids this. The original soundtracks they made for the Yu-Gi-Oh dub are like phenomenal. Like the God theme is just like, that's incredible. The Seal of Orichalco's theme is like unforgettable, and of course the original Yu-Gi-Oh theme, that's great. But I'm talking about the OSTs. So like when Yugi summons Slifer for the first time against Bakura, it's just like they play this theme. I don't remember what it's called. It's like the Forbidden One or something. It's like really, really good. I wish they could like mix it, like when he summons Slifer and then use the God theme in the dub, because that probably would make the perfect scene. And also the dub is like really, really well cast. It's just like, I prefer the dubbed Bakura. I prefer Dan Green as Yugi and Atem the Pharaoh. Eric Stewart is good as Kaiba, but he doesn't even hold a candle to Kenjiro Tsuda, who's his Japanese counterpart. Like, if you want, have you seen The Dark Side of Dimension, the Yu-Gi-Oh film that came out in 2016?
I don't remember. Maybe I'll take a look into it.
It's really, really good, and honestly, Kenjiro Tsuda, and take this with a grain of salt because maybe I'm biased, but like even my best friend who's like well versed in anime and other stuff like that, he says that Kenjiro Tsuda's performance in that film as Seto Kaiba is the greatest anime performance, like voiceover performance ever. It's incredible. It's just like, I've never heard anyone like talk like that. It's so distinctive, and it's like he has a throat of steel or something. He can scream from the top of his lungs and then just go down a pitch. It's just like he activates this trap card and he says it like with a calm cockiness, and then he just builds it up and builds it, and then he just screams at the top of his lungs, and it's just like, how can you do that? He's amazing. And I'd say like the GX dub is terrible. It's really fun when you watch it as a kid, and I like to watch the GX dub just for the hell of it, because it's
fun.
It's fun. But if you watch it subbed, you realize this is not the same show.
Well, Yu-Gi-Oh has always been kind of crazy.
Yeah, but honestly, like, it's not even the same thing. It's so weird. But at some points they have better voice cast. Like the one who does Zane Truesdale in the dub is better than his Japanese counterpart. But the Japanese Jaden is really, really good. He's good. And stuff like that. But if you watch, like, try watching like the first 10 episodes of GX dubbed and then GX subbed, you realize this isn't even the same show.
Oh.
It's really weird. Like, the Japanese would sometimes have these location shots and atmosphere to build up for the next scene, but if you watch the dub, every single one of those atmospheric shots is filled with like voiceover dialogue. Just them saying nothing. And it's so awkward. But I honestly feel like you can create the ultimate dub of Yu-Gi-Oh! Using some of the dub with Dan Green, and like I said, the soundtracks from the Japanese. You'd have to make some kind of hybrid, because the Japanese music is really good and the English music is really good. Like, I'll give 4Kids that. Like I said, they make really good music. Like when they did that Pokemon movie, Pokemon 2000. Lugia's theme is a 4Kids original. And that's a beautiful freaking song. Yeah, if we want to talk about something, if we want to wrap this up before I go on another Yu-Gi-Oh tangent, which forgive me, I tend to do. I play Yu-Gi-Oh. I've been doing it since 2002. See, I did it again! But
it's fine, dude. I mean, I can barely hold the show together as is.
It's just the first episode. But that was my Seto Kaiba voice. It's just the first episode. But, okay, so how we're going to wrap the show up is just like, you tell me some game that you've been like playing recently or replaying, or something that you've discovered recently in the video game world, because honestly I don't play that many games.
Well, I guess I should add in the Nier Automata thing.
Okay.
Well, as I wrote down, Nier Automata is specifically crafted to play with your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool at the start, but if you die, you see the credit sequence and you start over.
Oh, no.
The problem is the intro sequence is extremely long. So if you play on hard mode and almost beat it, congrats, chuckle nuts. You have to try again.
That's terrible. That's gotta be like soul crushing.
Yeah. And then, after you finally beat the first tutorial segment, of course you jump off a building. Gamer instinct. And of course there's fall damage.
Mm.
Well, after learning that, you go to walk to some guy, do a fetch quest, or a slave find cows or something.
Oh no.
And they complain about how boring it is.
Wait,
yes.
Wait, the game complains about how boring it is?
Two characters are having a banter. Man, this thing is so boring. Shut up. This is important.
That's not even clever.
Yeah, it's just mean.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I mean, this is just a part of the first thing. I mean, I guess I could go on, but I could fall apart with my speech as is.
But yeah, wrapping things up on like what I've been watching recently. Two things. I watched like I said earlier, I watched X-Men First Class last night for the first time in like a year or two. It's really great. Like everyone in this movie is really, really good, and it's beautifully directed. It's beautifully written. It has a great soundtrack. It's probably one of the best superhero soundtracks ever. And the performances by Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy is just like unparalleled. They have a great chemistry, and just seeing them like their relationship fall apart is heartbreaking. And one other thing, for the first time ever, I watched American Horror Story, the first season. It's called Murder House. It's okay. It has some problems, not specifically in like performance or anything. The actors are all really good, but it's kind of shot like really, really close, and it's like halfway between a Steadicam and a Jason Bourne flick. I can't explain. You would notice if you watch it. It's like so many quick cuts, and it's about this haunted house. That's why it's called Murder House. Like if you die in the house, your ghost lives in it forever. Mm. But the ghosts can do way too much. It's just like it's like there are no rules to it, honestly, and that it bothered me. Like there's one thing happened in the end. I won't spoil it, but honestly, that's the point I said out loud. Like these ghosts can do way too much. It's just like, why didn't they do that at the start? Mm-hmm. But I'd honestly recommend just watching it just to see for yourself if you like it. I heard that the show gets better, and I'm gonna be watching season 2 soon. And honestly, it would be really fun if I would be done with season 2 for the next episode. But yeah, I'd recommend watching the first season just to see like the good and the bad of it, and just like it's a mess, but it's kind of a good mess. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
It's just like I couldn't take my eyes off it, but at the same time, I didn't want to watch it. It's weird, man, but it's the good kind of weird.
Well, maybe you should try stuff like I do. Play everything at double speed.
Oh, yeah, that's probably clever. That would have saved me like, each episode is like 40 minutes. That would have saved me like 20 minutes. That's probably not a bad decision, but like I said, the constant quick cutting would probably have given me a seizure then. But yeah, I think that's probably it for our first episode.
And goodbye to the shit show, I guess.
Yeah.